Like every good love story, Alli and Chris's starts with a bit of a hiccup. Thanks to him. Obviously. They met online and had a wonderful date number 1. But date number 2 wasn't so smooth. Before their second date, I get a call from Alli saying Chris canceled it. Flat out canceled it. No plans to reschedule. And being the supportive friend I am, I told him it was his loss, that she should move on to the next. Thankfully, she did not listen to me.
Okay. Oh my gosh. You're gorgeous.
Chris, when we met, I was actively planning my life trajectory as a single woman. I always knew I could do it alone, but I never wanted to. When we matched on Bumble, I remember looking through your decade-old photos and thinking, why not? You messaged me consistently, and even before we met in person, you made me feel heard, cared for, and special. I remember the moment I knew that you were all in. You were driving back from your family Christmas in Iowa and called me on your drive because I didn't want you to die trying to text me. We had only had one date at this point because of the holidays, but the conversation shifted that day to marriage, kids, and what our life could look like together. You panicked mid-call, exclaiming, "Are we seriously talking about this? Why aren't I panicking?"
6 months later, she called me and said, "You have to come home and meet this guy. You have to." Now, Alli was looking for Chris for a long time, and I think it took so long because Chris wasn't looking as hard. As Mel pointed out in the ceremony, Chris blocked Alli for about 3 hours after before their second date. He said he did it because he knew if he kept talking to this woman, he'd marry her. So I gotta give it to you, Chris. You were right. You're never gonna hear those words again, so enjoy it. Now, Chris is fun, and when I first met him, I found he was fun, he was kind, or as Alli put it, he's just like Dad, which I think was supposed to make me feel excited to meet him, but instead just made me terrified.
Alli, you are awesome. Since our relationship first started and you boldly made the first move by kissing me at the end of our first date.
That's debatable.
No. I don't think I've ever been happier. You are one of the kindest, most caring women I've ever met, and I don't know what I did to deserve such a wonderful person in my life, but I plan on making you happy and laugh every single day. One of the first things that let me know you were the one was when we went on our third date to a New Year's party. I brought you to my friend's house with all of these knuckleheads up here, and you didn't know a single person, but that didn't stop you from wandering off and making friends with everyone. I remember looking across the room and seeing you animatedly talking to someone, and I thought, yep, she'll do.
You know, it was pretty early on after Chris and Alli got engaged that my mom approached me about this very moment. She came up to me and she said something along the lines of, you know, Matt, you got to be really careful with what you choose to say at Chris and Alli's wedding. There's going to be a lot of people there, a lot of your family, a lot of my friends, and a lot of Alli's family who's never met you before. And you just got to be really careful. You don't want to offend anyone. Maybe just keep it short and sweet, is what she told me. And she's right. I agree with her right away. I agreed with her. I think that's the right thing. It's their day after all. But then I started thinking a little bit more about it. And I thought to myself, you know, is that really fair to Chris?
And that was the moment I knew. Even before our Sorry, I got lost in there. By our second date, I was all in, even after the rocky start to that evening. Thank you for that preface. Chris, I love you so much. I love the way you energize the room. I love how deeply you value your friendships and your family and how much you care about others. Though there isn't much guaranteed in this life, I know that one thing is for sure. With you in my life, it will always be full of laughter, adventure, and happiness. So with all that said, Chris, here are my vows to you. I vow to support you and take care of you to the best of my ability. I vow to remind you that I love you every day. I vow to smile, laugh, and have fun with you. I vow to do my best to be kind, patient, and forgiving. I promise you my heart, and for the rest of our lives, I promise to be your wife.
This moment is kind of a momentous occasion for the Fox family. Our eldest daughter is getting married, and she's not just getting married. She's getting married to her perfect. Excuse me. I know there's no perfection. There is no perfection anywhere on the planet. But things just click when you're with your perfect. Alli is one of the most determined people I've ever met. You were talking about Chris earlier. Nothing came easy for Alli. She worked her ass off to get where she is. Every time she stepped around, she had to go up the hill. Someone was trying to knock her down, and she just kept pursuing. Because once she made up her mind, she was going to get there. And I can't tell you how proud we are, her mother and I, of where she's gotten herself today. One of the things she wanted, I think it was 4th grade when you started planning this wedding, was to find her perfect. And she did.
I'm so glad we'll be taking this journey together, even if it involves an abundance of pink dog outfits and an unhealthy codependent relationship with your pets. They're not. I love that you always try to sneak your OT techniques into our everyday lives, even though I do not need them.
If you look at my parents and rate them across all categories, their social judgment and perception of others and what they perceive of them is marginal at best at times.
Alli and Chris, today you join your separate lives together.
Quick, just slip it on.
Just wait.
Right? Yep. We're supposed to do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're supposed to put it on here, baby.
Wait,
Put it on
which finger?
this one.
This one? Okay.
For the first time, we got to see Alli with someone who wanted to bring her out and show her off, who wanted to make her laugh just to see her smile. Someone who would admit how beautiful she is and didn't bat an eye when she talked for 6 minutes straight without breathing. It was no shock to me that 3 months into their relationship they were talking about marriage, because when you know, you know. Chris, I expect you to keep up the fun. Always treat her with respect and remind her how beautiful she is, because she tries to forget. Alli, enjoy the journey. And remember, he's just a man, and he's trying his best.
Enter Alli Fox a few years ago. Can't say enough good things about Alli. You know, I think the true test, if you're right for Chris, is if you kind of let him be himself and you understand who he is. And we met Alli at this New Year's Eve party that you already heard about, where she didn't know a single person. That's the first time I met her too. And Kayla and I talked about it that night, and we knew that night that she's somebody who understands Chris, because you can tell when somebody does and when somebody doesn't, and she gets it. She got it. And so things only progress from there, obviously. And it's so obvious that that she loves Chris for who he really is, which is important to us, which is important to me. And I just wish him the best.
I love that you're just as willing to spontaneously go and hang out with all of the people I know at some random birthday party I forget to tell you about, that we were invited to, as you are to sit at home, order a boatload of Chinese food, and binge watch Love is Blind or Big Brother, while I yell at the TV because the people on those shows are delusional. I promise to always keep you entertained when I'm not downstairs playing video games. And I will never let us go to bed angry. You are an amazing person, partner, and I'm sure you will make an amazing wife and mother. Not yet. We did it!
And Mr. Alli Fox and Chris Rose.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. We'll cherish this moment forever. Nancy and I would like to do a little toast for Chris and Alli, but first we'd like to welcome Alli to the Rhodes family. And those speeches were wonderful, really fantastic. Nancy and I would like to wish you many, many years of happiness and love. And please bring us many grandbabies. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Have a great time.
I've been waiting for you. Come with your friends and show me something new. Hey, yeah, it's a hell of a time. This world's insane, but we gon'